I'm Doth Savick, and this is the Prodigy BP-1 V3. This is the third version of this bag that Prodigy's put out. I've also got a second version here that I'm going to do a bit of a comparison with. The second version still is in stock currently at a couple different spots, and it is a good alternative to the newest version. There's just a few differences. This bag says its retail is $150, but it's going for $105 right now. The original version, or sorry, the last version, the version 2, also had a retail at $150, but now that the third one has come out, the second version, the price has been dropped down to either $89 or $99, depending on where you look for it. First thing I'll start with is the weight on this new bag. I'm going to switch straight over to my second monitor and show you this is on Prodigy's YouTube page. And we're just going to listen to like a few 10 seconds or so of this.
This is Garcia with Prodigy Disc. We're taking a first look at the BP-1 V3 today. This thing is big, it is awesome, it's got some great new features, it's lighter and more durable than the previous version.
There, I'm going to stop it right there. Okay, lighter and more durable than the previous version. We'll also go straight to Prodigy's website and look at this. You can see they're currently out of stock. That just happened in the last couple days as far as I know, and I've highlighted part of it here. It says the new fabric is even more durable and lightweight than previous versions of the backpack. They're being a bit deceiving there, and we're just incorrect in the YouTube video. This third version is heavier than the second version by 200 grams. So it's not an insignificant amount, it's more than the weight of one disc. The third version here of the BP-1 weighs 2.1 kilos. The second version weighs 1.91 kilos. Now, technically the information on the website is correct. Some of the fabric used is lighter weight, but the bag is not lighter weight overall. So they just got it wrong in the script or of the YouTube video, or just had the incorrect information on it anyways. This new style fabric that they've got on there is a super lightweight ripstop, and I think that's exactly what they're referring to. Like, this fabric is probably lighter weight than the main fabric used on this bag. However, there's a couple things that make this bag heavier. One is that the material that they've used on the bottom is an extremely thick, almost like a rubberized material. It's probably nearly got some waterproof quality to it, except for the stitching points, of course. I'm guessing that they thought this other material was so light that if they put it on the bottom of the bag, it was likely to tear. So they put this extra thick stuff on there for durability. Another thing that makes this bag more heavy is the hard plate that's in the bottom of the bag. It covers the entire bottom. There's a stiff panel down there, and then on top of the stiff panel, there is a piece of foam. So your discs are actually sitting on foam, which will maybe help them from sliding around a whole lot, or bouncing out or something like that. That is the same combination of materials used on the version 2. The version 2 also has a hard panel down there and then a foam piece set on top. The difference is the thickness of that hard panel. It's maybe not quite twice as thick on the new version, but it's substantially thicker. There's a lot more material there. Another thing that adds weight to this version is the pouch that they've added up on front of the bag. That's brand new. The second version doesn't have anything down there, and that's also one of my favorite things about this bag. I've got a mini marker and a whale sack sitting in there right now, but you can easily fit a couple of putters, no problem at all, and that's really neat idea. It does get in the way a little bit of pulling discs out of the main compartment. You definitely can still do it. There is still room to get discs in and out there, but it allows you to carry, I mean, you can do 3 or 4 putters, no problem up top, so you could potentially do 4 putters up top and then 2 putters down here. You've got 6 putters in your bag that's not taking up any room in the main compartment yet. This thing is a beast when it comes to carrying discs. It is, it carries more even just in the main compartment than the version 2. It's 1 to 2 disc difference, and you know, of course, the exact number that you jam in there is going to depend from one person to the next and how tightly you're willing to pack them. But as an example right now, and this is way more discs than I actually have been carrying when I'm using this bag, but I wanted to show you its capacity. I've got 3, 6, 9, 10. I've got 11 mids and putters in there, and then 3, 6, 9, 10 drivers. So 21 in the main, and more than half of them are mids and putters. So if you cut down on the mids and putters that you're putting in there, then you can fit even more discs. It's just wild. This thing carries so many discs. The front pocket here that they've added also has a zipper across it, and that's pretty much a full width pocket there. You could do, I mean, snacks, you could do phone, wallet, all sorts of different things you could fit in there. One thing this bag is missing, and the old version is missing, was a dedicated spot to put your mini marker, which is why I've got my mini just sitting in here. That's a little bit different for me. On a number of bags, I'll let my mini markers float with my putters, kind of overlap between 2 of the putters, something like that. But I don't like doing that on this bag as much because of how wide that putter pocket is. There is so much room for your putters to slide back and forth that if you put other stuff in there, like a mini marker, it's not necessarily going to stay stuck between 2 discs, so you always know where it is. It could, you know, easily get off to one side or the other and get tangled. That extra room up there does make it really easy to carry a towel, and I like having a towel jammed in my easily accessible and with my putters. There's plenty of room to do that completely off to the side of your putters, or if you want the putters to sit up higher, you can get that towel down underneath them, and then those putters will poke up a little bit higher. This version still does have 2 pencil pockets. As you can see, I've got pencils in them here. They're super low on the bag. You don't have necessarily a dedicated spot to put a scorecard. You know, you certainly could use this zipper pocket right here to have a scorecard poke up out of it, or it's going to go in with your putter pockets or one of the extra little pockets inside these tall side storage compartments. The other difference, we've gone over weight. This one's heavier. This one has the front storage. The bottom panel is different. And then the next major thing that's different on this new version is the backpack straps. And this is an awesome change. I really didn't have issues with the old backpack straps, but they've still managed to improve it. I really like this. These are not the thickest straps by any means. It is a pretty thin. It is a pretty thin strap on here. It's 11 millimeters is what I measured on the version 3. That's super close. The version 2 I've got sitting over there measured at 10.6 millimeters. I do have more miles on that one, so I think that the pads have maybe compressed a little bit inside the straps compared to when they were new. The material used inside the straps is noticeably different. Even with how thin these are, this is very, very stiff foam in here compared to a relatively softer foam in the old ones. You can see on this strap, the foam is so soft that I have no problems twisting it up like that. We have a much stiffer, more rigid strap here. You can see how it's like doing a wider helix thing. It doesn't want to totally fold over on itself. And that's because of how dense that foam is. When you put it on, that gives the feeling that it's that has much thicker padding there. Like, it is a very comfortable strap to put on. You can see that they also changed. They had webbing sewn that ran down the length of this strap, and that is how they attach the sternum strap. And then they also gave you D-rings, and a lot of bags will have D-rings mounted up here higher on the side somewhere for you to hang your towel or bag tags or whatever kind of stuff people like to hang on their bags. The only D-rings on the version 2 are on the straps. That's been removed here. The version 3 has no D-rings, nowhere easily to hang stuff. If you really wanted to hang something off of the bag, the first thing that I would probably look at is the double zipper pull for the putter pocket. That's giving you a spot right there. You could hang stuff off of it. Another potential spot is the overlap for your umbrella. You could do a little carabiner hooked onto that piece of fabric there and hang stuff if you really wanted. That doesn't bug me. I don't like hanging stuff off of my bag. I want things dressed inside the pockets and have a nice clean look. Don't have a bunch of jangling noises as I'm going down the fairway. With the D-rings removed from these straps, the backpack straps, shoulder straps, and not having the fabric webbing running down the front of them, they've gone to a completely different design for the sternum strap on the version 3 here, and I really like this. They've got a little tube that they've sewn in tightly, and then that sternum strap just slides straight up and down. This makes it so much easier to move your sternum strap on the fly. I find that if I'm going for a longer walk between holes or searching for a disc, or I feel like I'm about to have the pack on for a while, a lot of times I go ahead and load it a little bit differently and click that sternum strap in. Now, I feel like almost every time that I clip my sternum strap, it's not in the right spot, and on a lot of other bags, you've got a chore ahead of you if you want to adjust that sternum strap up and down. Potentially even having to take a buckle off and move it to a new spot. And that's just not the case on this third version of the BP-1. That sternum strap is just super easy to slide up and down and get it exactly where you want. I wish that more bags had a sternum strap adjustment of that style. I could potentially see somebody complaining about it and say, hey, it's too easy to move, I find it in a different spot, but I just don't see that really is a problem. The fact that it's so easy to move, if you clip it in and it's not where you left it, you just slide it to exactly where you want. And you're all set. I think that it may be a little bit of a quality control thing, but on the two bags that I have here, the lumbar padding on the version 3 is a little bit skinnier than the padding that's on the version 2. I didn't feel that from wearing it, but just checking it out, this it's hard to tell a little bit, but this ridge is slightly thicker than here. And again, it may just be the way that foam is sitting in there. I can feel that foam, and it's kind of got a dent in it here. It's not perfect. It doesn't feel as thick as this. But again, that's visual. I don't feel that when I'm wearing it. I didn't notice the difference. This bag has a soft back on it, which is one of my favorite things comfort-wise to have. So when you put it on, it will kind of give you the octo-haul hug, sort of, and form to your back a little bit. Now, it's not as comfortable as Pound Bag because it has that rigid bottom panel. Connecting to that rigid bottom panel are two hard plastic rails that you can see there, and when this is on my back, this pad compresses. Let me get that out of my way. The back padding compresses enough that then this hard board right here is what pushes into my lower back or top of my butt. That's one of the things that you've heard me complain about on the older grip bags and other bags as well if you've listened to a number of my reviews. it didn't bug me a lot on this bag, and that may partly be due to the bag that I carried just before this, the Innova Superhero Pack 2, which you can see behind me there on the bottom of the table, and that thing is just so uncomfortable. It was one of the bags I disliked the most, and that may be part of it. How uncomfortable that bag is made this one feel even more comfortable carrying it afterwards. The bottom line is you're gonna feel that hard bar at the bottom, but overall I still rate this bag as very comfortable. Combination of having the softer back at the top and the hard dense foam in the straps, you're getting a very comfortable bag. The version 2 is also, I'd rate as a comfortable one. I didn't know that I disliked the straps on that until I tried these new straps. Those old ones aren't particularly bad. It's just these are really one of the best. Like these straps are done really well here. It's a little bit of a weird thing, the bridge that they have between these straps. You can see how it's kinked. It's not set up in a way where that is going to want to lay flat. These straps want to push themselves together, and so that leaves a little kink there, which is like visually odd, and that exists on the older version as well. Even though it's not like aesthetically pleasing to see that fabric stick kind of coupled together there, it does help pop it out and make it easier to grab from that spot. So like functionally, it actually, whether it was purposeful or not, it does serve a purpose of making it a little bit easier to pick the bag up from that loop. Probably the thing that's bugged me the most about this bag, besides not having a dedicated mini marker spot, is the water bottle holders. And this complaint is the same for the older version 2 as well as the version 3. If it does say that it's ready for a 32-ounce water bottle, but these Nalgene's are super tight in here. It's not just gonna slide out. It takes two hands to get that free. One to hold the bag down, and the other hand to pull the Nalgene out. They were worse when I first got the bag, and I've been leaving Nalgenes in there to help stretch the pockets. You do have a little bit of a tapered design. You can see at the connecting point of the water bottle holder that's towards the front of the bag is higher, and then it's lower down here. That does help get the bottle in, because you can come down to that edge and rock it, and then it like almost suctions itself in there. You can see that there's a bit of wrinkling near the top of that pocket, and that is the point at which the insulation starts. There's a thin foam sleeve inside there that comes up to that height. If that sleeve, just that sleeve alone, wasn't in there, then the bottle might fit better. It bugs me that they're that difficult to get in and out. I was driving to the course yesterday for my second round of the day, and I thought, I better pop some ibuprofen so I don't get too, wrecked, too sore or whatever. So I reach in the back seat to grab the water bottle and realize that I cannot get the water bottle out by one hand. As I managed to get the water bottle out with one hand right there. But I ended up having to wait till I got to a stoplight, pull the bag around, and then, force that thing out of there. To me, that's a detractor. I don't want this bottle to be that hard to remove. I've had a couple comments recently, people asking me how I handle bottles falling out of pockets on different bags, and that's just it's never been an issue for me. I guess if I've got my bag on and I'm gonna pick something up, I tend to crouch with my knees, and other people are just bending over and having stuff fall out at them. If that's something that you have an issue with, is things falling out, you want to be able to bend over at your waist with the bag on your back, this is gonna do well to capture these Nalgenes. They're not gonna fall out of there. I wish that was a little bit easier to deal with. I guess if this was my primary bag, I would just switch my water bottles. I'd stop using these 32-ounce Nalgenes, and I'd go to something a little bit skinnier. Back to just kind of the normal going over the rest of the normal stuff for the bag. Now, I did mention double zipper pull for the putter pocket. You've got that, you know, the center flap there, and some nice tight zippers. That's probably going to keep moisture out, at least for a little bit, if you are getting into some rain. The front of the part of the bag is blank. That would be the perfect spot for a little mini marker slot. Something I've not utilized on this version or the original is that there's a zipper right under that flap. You've totally got a storage spot there, and I just keep forgetting about it. It exists on both the version 2 and the version 3, and I've just not used it. I really like the pockets that they've got next to the water bottles. They have a magnet sewn in there, and I just really like the magnet closures on that. I wish that was done on more bags instead of Velcro. I'm just not a big Velcro fan. These pockets are just perfect for cell phone, wallet. I've been putting wallet on one side with keys and then my cell phone on the other side. They work great for that. And that's the first time I've tried both wallet and phone in the same pocket. But something about the magnetic closure is just super satisfying. I really like it, and they've got that on both sides. The side pockets also have the magnetic closure on the version 2. Same deal. Moving on to the taller pockets here, they are expandable on both bags. It's a very similar zipper system to what we just looked at on the Innova Super Hero Pack. If I'm going to compress this side pocket, I start here. I've got stuff in this pocket, so it might be a little bit resistant to compressing. I come all the way around the bottom, and then back up the top to cover where the zipper started, all the way up. Inside this pocket, and this is mirrored, it's the same on both sides. You've got a pocket sewn up high. This is a really common spot. It's got an elastic top on it. Again, potentially mini marker, scorecard, cell phone, whatever little storage things you want. The bag does ship disassembled, and I think that's how most of the Prodigy bags are coming now, BP-1 and BP-2 at least. And it's just not fun to put them together. You're putting in during the assembly, you know, like you pull this zipper here, you're putting in one hardening piece over here, and then there's a vertical zipper on this sidewall. You put that stiffener piece in there, and then there's a zipper just where my fingertips are touching, and you put a stiffener piece across the front here, and then do the two panels on the other side. It's not that much work. It's just frustrating to do, to get those panels bent in the right orientation. You're doing a wrestling match. I know there's a short video, it may be linked through Prodigy's website actually, of somebody assembling one of these, and you can tell it's heavily cut. I doubt you're ever going to see somebody put a video out where they assemble one from start to finish, because it's pretty much impossible to do without making yourself look like a fool, like you've got two left hands or whatever. It's just not a quick thing. It's not fun. It's not particularly easy, but it is what it is. It saves them a ton on shipping, I'm sure. And even if you get super frustrated doing it, you'll forget about it after a few rounds, and you know, it is what it is. I do have some reservations about the quality on both the new version, the version 3, and the version 2. I've already got some threads pulling on this bag, and I've not had it. I've not had it through that many rounds. We'll get up close here and see if I can show you. So this is one thread pulling out right now. You can see the I think you can see at least the gaps in the stitching here, and I don't know what's going to happen if I pull this. I haven't pulled on this. This is just natural that thread has already come apart that far. Another spot that the stitching is coming apart is right here. And that one, I just gave it a little tug and that thread pulled all the way out. There's a seam here, a piece of fabric that's folded over and then sewn together. There's another thread pulling out of the same thing. It's not confidence inspiring to see these threads start pulling out, especially when it looks like, well, I don't know all my stitching terminology, but it's not I'd say it looks like a single stitch to me, versus some others where I see, it looks like stitching back and forth. One spot on the V2, and this bag has a lot more miles on it. The spot that's coming apart on here is this front pencil pocket that I just pushed that into. I'm gonna have to stand up again to show this. You can see right here, this corner of the pocket is pulling, coming unsewn, and you can see these stitches pulling out. I don't know if that's just kind of how it is with Prodigy bags. The Prodigy BP-1 that I reviewed a while ago, I gave that bag away. A buddy paid shipping and I sent it to him. I didn't charge him for the bag, and he didn't have it very long at all, and an interior seam on the putter pocket just started ripping. It's pulled apart what looks like a couple inches in the pictures that he sent me. I felt bad about it. I was trying to hook him up. I mean, free bag, I guess, whatever. Maybe I shouldn't feel bad, but still should get a lot more life out of bag. Prodigy's website does say that they have a lifetime warranty on their bags for the original owner. The guy that I sent that bag to that tore in the putter pocket, he emailed him, and their suggestion was maybe he could sew it back together himself. Not a coupon code, not a discount for a new bag, just no love at all. Which it is what it is, They say it's for first owner. I don't know if they even had that discussion or if they just said no because it's an older bag. But I've not heard great things about Prodigy customer service and warranty on their bags. It does say lifetime warranty. My recommendation is if you're going to get one of these bags, save a copy of that receipt in your email or whatever. And if you have stitching pulling apart like I do now, and then a year later it really becomes an issue as fabric might be separating, get that thing warranted. They say lifetime warranty. Just keep your receipt so you can prove that you're the original owner. That'd be my recommendation. I think that both of these bags are a good value, and they came really close to creating an awesome bag. They only needed a few things done differently, in my opinion. I'd like the water bottle pockets just a little bit bigger so they truly fit an Nalgene. I'd like a dedicated spot for a mini marker, and you're pretty much there for $100. Like this is an awesome bag. It's competing with bags of a much higher price. Like, it totally blows the Innova Super Hero Pack 2 out of the water, and it's $50 less. I think that when I first started testing this bag, I was really still liking the older version and thinking that was such a better value, but in my mind I had it planted that this was $150 retail and that one, the V2, is going for $90. And I was like, there's no way that this bag is worth an extra $60, but then they dropped the price of this down to $105. So then it's a $15 difference. It is a heavier bag for $15. So you got to take that into account. But for the extra weight, you get more comfortable straps and you get this front storage. And that's probably worth it. The fact that this bag is out of stock right now, I still think that the V2 bag is an awesome value. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend that at all. I think those are going to be gone when they're gone. It's just remaining stock that they've got. So if you're considering it, I'd jump on that. Oh, and my notes glitched out here. I was going to make a comment on the color differences. On the V2, they do have more color combinations. They have, I'm going by memory now, so I may not nail it. The one that I've got here is the blue and red. They also have a gray and black, and then they also have a black and gray. So one of them has the primary as gray and the other has the primary as black. And then they have a green version. So 4 colors in total. And then this version, I believe there's just 3 colors. This is the green. They also have 2 different grays. I think one is called gray and the other is called smoke, something like that. It's a little bit darker color. So at least currently, you've got more color combination options on the V2. Rainflies I've not figured out. I do believe on the V2 that they were offering rainflies for an extra $20. I didn't order one, so I really can't comment on that. And then looking today, I didn't see rainfly information for this guy. So if you want a rainfly, then you're probably going to be limited to the V2, at least right at the moment. You'll have to do your own research on that. But for the price, I don't think you can go wrong with either of these bags, as long as they don't tear apart. And you know, if you do your own research, look for other people commenting about problems they may be having or not. You know, it is lifetime warranty. Just keep your receipt and you're probably going to be okay. I've got some more bag reviews coming. Behind me you can see the Fossa bag that I've got there, and then up on the top shelf I've got 3 other bags I haven't reviewed yet. An MVP, I think that's an old Voyager. I'm probably going to get a new Voyager to compare against that. And then I've got my new Pound Octo haul up there, and then a Fade Crunch box. And more on the way as well. I got to grip the new style CS. I think CS2 is what the new one is. So I'm going to keep cranking out some reviews for you guys. Feel free to leave any comments down below. I'm always on top of those, so I'm happy to chat about bags, and I'll make sure to get your questions answered to the best I can. So appreciate you watching. Thanks.